Ah, Eusebius, quite a good historian, bishop of Caesarea, biographer of Constantine, the first Christian historian, father of ecclesiastical history, and most of all, he was always true to his word. He's well known for never telling a lie. Did you believe that last part? Because I was lying, just like Eusebius was. So what makes Eusebius so infamous? Let's start with the so-called Testamonium Flavianum, a snippet that interprets an otherwise gloomy chapter to bring us this brief but glowing summary of Jesus' miraculous career. Now there was about this time Jesus, a wise man, if it be lawful to call him a man, for he was a doer of wonderful acts, a teacher of such men as received the truth with pleasure. He drew over to him both many of the Jews and many of the Gentiles. He was the Christ. And when Pilate, at the suggestion of the principal men amongst him, had condemned him to the cross, those that loved him at the first did not forsake him. For he appeared to them alive again the third day, as the divine prophets had foretold these and 10,000 other wonderful things concerning him. And the tribe of Christians, so named from him, are not extinct at this day. Well, first things first, is it real? No, not at all. Not only is it thrown into the middle of an otherwise well-flowing passage, but no one had even mentioned this until the 4th century. There are numerous reasons that we know it's a forgery. At best, it's an interpolation. But for today, we'll stick with those because they're important to understanding Eusebius. No one seemed to have heard of the Testamonium for 300 years. It's never quoted until the 4th century, when the notorious Bishop Eusebius of Caesarea begins quoting it repeatedly. I will go over how we know it's a forgery in a later video, but for now, let's stick to Eusebius. To be clear, Eusebius did have some good works that are cited to this day, but history doesn't exist in a vacuum. Anything with his name stamped on it should be taken with a grain of salt. He was generally well regarded up until the Enlightenment, although even in Eusebius' own time, many of his peers did not trust him or his work. Over 24 complaints from his contemporaries still survive. Accusations of lack of integrity, poor scholarship, deliberate misrepresentations in his histories, and hypocrisy. His alleged forgeries include a pair of letters between the ruler of Edessa and Jesus himself, a letter, possibly too, from Emperor Marcus Aurelius, alterations to Flavius Josephus's Antiquities, deliberate falsifications of dates, and swiping from a Roman novel to create Christian martyr biographies. Eusebius is our first and only source for those letters. Nothing any historian had written prior even hints at these things existing, and here he is already translating them. But what respected historian would lie? Was he okay with this? Well, yeah, actually, he was totally okay with it. Let's read from Eusebius in his preparation. A mortal man who paid any little regard to virtue would never lie, but would choose rather to reverence the truth. Nor would he lay the blame of a lie upon any necessity of fate or course of the stars. But even if anyone were to bring fire or sword against his body to compel him to pervert the word of truth, yet even against this he would reply in freedom's tone, "Come fire, come sword, burn and scorch up this flesh and gorge thyself with my dark blood, for sooner shall the stars sink down to earth and rise up to heaven, than fawning word shall meet thee from my lips." So basically, it's okay to lie if you protect the truth. Remember kids, lying in the name of God is still lying, and Eusebius had us fooled for quite a while. Keep searching. The universe is ours to explore. If you like the content, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to this channel. Make sure to share if you learned something, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's just as you assuming it's nothing but these humans who like to blame mythology for everything they're doing. They pray for non-existent gods to clean up the mess, but never take responsibility, just claim it's a test. See, that religion you've been given is shit and it's all poison. And it's partially the reason we bleed and it's all poison. Your worldview is poison, your outlook is poison. Deny it all you want, but the truth is it's all poison.